public face, but conducts its business in secret. Its house organ, Foreign Affairs, published since 1922, is what the CFR website calls America's most influential publication on international affairs and foreign policy.
The word foreign in the CFR name causes us to smile, because it doesn't jive with its membership profile. What do federal district judges, the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, a number of state governors, a sports commissioner, the author of a book about Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings, and hundreds of lesser-known CFR members have to do with foreign affairs? What are the 13 members of lobbying firms doing as CFR members? Isn't it against the law for foreign countries to lobby Congress? And if they do not lobby for foreign countries, why do they belong to the CFR, an organization supposedly dedicated to foreign policy? Why should CFR people be briefed by government officials on information not available to the general public, especially since it can be financially advantageous to CFR members?
It sure sounds like the CFR is the ultimate old boys club.
It certainly seems that way. The CFR has been the chief recruiting ground for cabinet-level officials in Washington for decades. Almost half of all CFR members have been invited to assume official government positions or to act as consultants at one time or another. During the last change in the Supreme Court, only CFR members appeared on the short list of 5 candidates considered for the vacated position. Because the CFR does an end run around our Constitution, it is known as our shadow government. And because the Rockefellers run the CFR, it is the Rockefellers, not our Congress, who control the U.S. government.
Now, isn't it true that the covert focus of the CFR was for many years on promoting a world government in a fashion similar to the Bilderberg Group, but that recently it has reduced its world government aspirations?
That's right. But 16 present CFR members are also members of the Bilderberg Group, including David Rockefeller and Henry Kissinger.
Well, maybe it's time to talk about the Bilderberg Group.
The Bilderberg Group is named for the Hotel de Bilderberg in the Netherlands, where the first meeting was held in 1954.
And why was it formed, Dick?
Well, David Rockefeller was the founder of the Bilderberg Group. That should tell you something about it.
Okay, go on. What is its mission?
Its mission is to create a world government. And in the process of doing so, the United States will lose its Constitution, Bill of Rights, and sovereignty. In 1950, just 4 years before the Bilderberg Group was formed, James Warburg testified before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He said, "We shall have world government, whether or not you like it, by conquest or consent."
So the obvious question is, if the American people do not consent to the termination of our sovereignty and the abandonment of our Constitution, who will conquer us to bring it about by force? Will it be by an army financed by the trillions of dollars the Federal Reserve bankers have cheated us out of? The same elites who force the income tax upon us so that the money to pay the interest to those bankers is stolen from the American people?
The answer to those questions are not so obvious, but understanding how the Bilderberg Group conducts business may shed some light. Annual meetings are held at various sites around the world. For security purposes, they are held at different times and places. The most recent meeting was held at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Istanbul, Turkey. The world's powerful elite arrive at the Bilderberg meetings in black limousines, sporting bulletproof glass. Attendees like Hillary Clinton, who do not wish to be seen under any circumstances, are whisked away to the hotel underground garage. Bilderberg secrecy precautions make those of the CFR look like a Cub Scout initiation by comparison. The responsibility for security for these meetings is in the hands of the government of the country in which the meetings are held. They must supply military guards, Secret Service, national and local police, and private security personnel to protect the privacy and safety of these very powerful international elite members, who are not required to conform to regulations that private citizens are subject to, such as customs searches, visa requirements, or public notice of their meetings. When they meet, no outsiders are allowed in or near the building. They bring their own cooks, waiters, telephone operators, housekeepers, and bodyguards.
Shades of the secret meeting at Jekyll Island in 1910 to create the Federal Reserve Act. So, who goes to these meetings?
Perhaps Daniel Estulin, who has researched the Bilderberg Group for more than 15 years, describes them best. Since 1954, the Bilderbergers have represented the elite and the absolute wealth of all Western nations. Financiers, industrialists, bankers, politicians, business leaders of multinational corporations, presidents, prime ministers, finance ministers, state secretaries, World Bank and International Money Fund representatives, presidents of world media conglomerates, and military leaders.
Aren't there about 80 who have gone to every meeting for years?
Yes, those are the regulars. But others are invited to speak because they have expertise in a particular field, but they have no knowledge of the group's true purpose. Still others are invited as recruits, whom the Bilderbergers will help to attain elected positions of great power, including the presidency of the United States, to help advance the Bilderberg agenda.
So if they aren't already corrupt, they are thought to be corruptible.
That pretty much covers it. A partial list of notable Bilderberg attendees includes: David Rockefeller has attended all meetings since 1954. President Bill Clinton, 1991, Germany. Donald Rumsfeld, 1975 and 2002. Tony Blair, 1993, Greece. Margaret Thatcher, 1975. Henry Kissinger, 2004, 5, 6, and 7. Melinda Gates, wife of Bill Gates, 2004. 3 different Canadian prime ministers. George Pataki, New York governor, 2006. Katharine Graham, Washington Post owner, attended many meetings. Presidential candidate Chris Dodd has attended 3 meetings. Many heads of large corporations, particularly those representing oil companies, have attended Bilderberg meetings.
Didn't Hillary Clinton attend a Bilderberg meeting?
Presidential candidate Hillary Clinton attended Bilderberg meetings in 1997 and 2006. On at least 2 occasions, she has been asked in public to comment on her involvement with Bilderberg. Each time, she recoiled in fear and tried to get away as quickly as she could. In one case, her bodyguards used strong-arm tactics to prevent a simple question from being asked of her about it.
Fancy that, Dick. A U.S. senator and presidential candidate doesn't want the public to know that she's been to Bilderberg meetings and uses her guard dogs to stifle our right to free speech in asking about them. We didn't read about these facts in the major newspapers or see it on television, did we?
Not at all.
And why is that?
Because the CFR controls the media.
And that's why you won't see this in the news.
Now imagine Hillary taking an oath on the Bible to uphold the Constitution, while at the same time plotting with the Bilderbergers to destroy it.
I could have done without that image, Dick.
And let's not forget about Rupert Murdoch, who owns an enormous national media empire. Murdoch attended the 2006 Bilderberg meeting in Canada. So...
But don't tell me, Dick. Not one of the news outlets within his media monopoly has uttered a single word about Bilderberg, least of all Fox News.
Particularly Fox News. Not a word of what is said at Bilderberg meetings can be breathed outside. No reporters are invited in, and no information is to get out. While confidential minutes of meetings are taken, names are not noted.
That's it, Dick.
What's it?
That's why Fox News doesn't cover the Bilderbergs.
Why?
Well, you just said no reporters are invited there. How can you report the news when your reporters aren't allowed to see it?
I picked a heck of a week to stop taking my antidepressants.
Just kidding, Dick.
So was I.
So, how do we know what we know about the Bilderberg Group, Dick?
Since it's so secretive, most of what we know about the group comes from leaks and independent investigators. For example, activist Tony Gosling, a former British journalist who runs a campaign against the Bilderberg Group, noted, One of the first places I heard about the determination of U.S. forces to attack Iraq was from leaks that came out of the 2002 Bilderberg meeting.
Well, here's another example of a leak. Henry Kissinger made this statement at a Bilderberg meeting held in Evian, France, but he was unaware that the speech was being taped by a Swiss delegate to the meeting.
Today, Americans would be outraged if UN troops entered Los Angeles to restore order. Tomorrow, they will be grateful. This is especially true if they were told there was an outside threat from beyond, whether real or promulgated, that threatened our very existence. It is then that all people